Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is going to be an impromptu live stream where we're just going to have a chat about whatever it is that is on your mind. My buddy Joa is actually here. We were talking a few moments ago on Instagram, and I said, bro, I'm about to go live. He's like, I'll see you in a minute. First name pops up in the live stream is my buddy Joa. It is good to see you, my friends, and definitely I appreciate the AOK. I am not going to talk about that AOK in this video. However, I am going to save that little treat for another video that will come out at some point in the not so distant future. So definitely appreciate you hanging out with me, brother. Aaron just popped in here. Kyler is here. Lewis is here. Tina, how you doing? Closet Geek Vika is in the house. All people I literally commented to just a couple of moments ago on the community tab, and these guys are like, hey, I'll be there. So it is definitely good to see you guys. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you being here. Chris Barrett is in the house. How you doing, brother? Who else do we have here? Chris Bigger is in the house. Aaron is here. We're not going to show that comment. Marvel Joe, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, my man. Mr. Comic 89 is in the house. Who else is here? Jacob is here. Poncho, how you doing? Vika, does anyone know of the boy who had 7? I don't know if Matt ever goes. Yes, he does. Matt has gone live a couple of times with the other Matt. They do this Green Lantern show, but I don't think that I've ever seen Matt, aka the boy who had 7, go live by himself. But that doesn't mean that he does not do it. Universe X, how you doing, brother? Perry Comics coming in here with this super chat of $3.99. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Happy new comic book day to you as well, my friend. It is always good to see you, and not just because you gave me that super chat. James is in the house. Young T is in here. Joe is here. DS Comics, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, my man. It is good to see you. I tagged you on that post. Well, I was about to tag you on that post and realized that you actually saw that pre-co-horror post before I did. So I'm not surprised by that, but it is good to see you, my friend. Kumar is here, the goat of collecting. It's good to see you. Chris Barrett is in the house. All these Chris's, so many Chris's, so little time. Harvey Abel, how are you, my friend? So if you guys haven't seen this, I think I pinned it. I may have pinned it. Harvey Abel, he actually did a really nice post for me the other day. I think Harvey is hearing impaired. I don't know if that's the correct term, but let's just use that for now, for lack of me being fully aware of what term to use. He did a really nice post the other day that touched me. And when I tell people, and I say it, I have some of the best subscribers around. I honestly do mean it. And I'm very thankful for everyone, especially my buddy Harvey Abel. So brother, it is good to see you. And that's why he's making the comment. He says he just finished watching me. I'm guessing he was watching another video elsewhere on the channel. So some big green goodness. Eric Compton says he's watching Mr. Norton's Hulk movie at the moment. Some big green goodness indeed. That one of my favorite scenes of that movie was when he was trapped in the glass enclosure and the smoke grenades or whatever were going off and he put his hand on the glass. That is one of my favorite moments of that movie. And I am a big fan of I'm a big fan of Edward Norton. Chris Barrett, what's wrong, brother? He says he's been better. Hopefully your day gets a little bit better, brother, whatever it is that you're battling with. Trust me when I tell you that we all have things that are going on in our lives that are less than desirable. So better believe. Thank you, Kyler. I'm going to go ahead and show that comment. I'm not sure why that one was hitting. That was weird. Long don't recognize these days. All right, cool. I'm kind of scrolling through the comments. So here's the thing. I have no agenda. I think I've been watching too much Kevin Hart because that was a Kevin Hart. That was a Kevin Hart moment right there. I have no agenda for this show. We're just going to hang out. We're going to chat a little bit. I have a little box off to my side that I'll probably unbox and show you guys what's in there. Today's been a good day. I received 2 fantastic AOKs from some folks out there that I'm very thankful for. We're actually not going to look at those books today. We're going to save those for another day. I'll probably do like another AOK video or something like that. But what was crazy is That's crazy. I went to go. Did I do? I have so many different things that are like going on in this room that you guys can't fully appreciate. Like there's a like a to be read stack. There is a to be videoed stack. There is a to, grade and sort stack. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff that I'm selling. Like the room is in chaos and it doesn't look like it, but it is chaos. And I went to go move this box earlier today and found a stack of comics in it. And I don't know if I did a video. I don't know if I did a video on these comics yet. So maybe I can't talk about those because maybe it's already in a video somewhere and I just be shooting myself in my own foot. So collect those 6. How you doing, brother? It is good. It is good to see you. Vika says a show about nothing. Brother, if Seinfeld can do it for all those years, maybe I can try it. All right, so let me see what you guys are talking about. Zorro says he's really been enjoying the content. Thank you, my friend. We spend a lot of time on this stuff. And by we, I speak in the Queen's we. I'm talking about me. I spend a lot of time. I wish I had a crew of people, editors and all that good stuff. It is just me and a laptop banging all this stuff out. So it looks like my camera just froze. So hopefully it straightens itself out there. But Zorro, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Rob Worst is asking what issue of Strange Tales is in the right rear corner. So let me look. That is Strange Tales 138. Please don't ask me the significance because I'd have to get back up. No, I think that's like the first appearance of like everybody. I think like Dormammu was in there. A couple of other people are in there. To be honest with you, I can't remember them all. But yeah, that's a good book, man. I definitely dig that. I wish that the cover was not Nick Fury and maybe it was Doctor Strange because the Doctor Strange covers I think are really, really dope. I've got a bunch of them in a BCW bin right here at my feet. I definitely dig those. Tina Cranston said nothing is fun. Yes, indeed it is. Maddie Joe, how you doing? It's good to see you. Ooh, Chris Barrett is dealing with some he says potential digital breaches. Yeah, man, get on those. Get on those. Scrolling through comments here. Oh yeah, Party Time Comics says he got his Secret Wars 8. Did you? I think you sent me I think you sent me an image of that, right? Definitely a nice book. If that was you, I get really confused between the various messages that I get on platforms. I think that was you. Oh, I can't even open it. Yeah, that was you. Very cool. Congratulations on that book, man. I actually have one that is going into CGC right now. I have I have a ton of books that are in that box right back behind me. There's a Secret Wars 8, a Amazing Spider-Man 301, 299, 298, 252. There's a ton of stuff in that box back there. A lot of it is Amazing Spider-Man, as you would imagine, but that box of stuff will hopefully be going off to CGC by the end of the week if I can get it all lined up. So Tina's asking, what am I selling? Oh my goodness, Tina, I have been on a tear. I've been selling so much stuff. Harvey, it's good to see you, man. I've been selling so much stuff. It's unbelievable. So for fear of shooting myself in my foot with later content, let's just say I came into a bunch of books, separated out the stuff that I wanted. And then the stuff that I already had doubles of, I'm basically moving that stuff onto a good home. And so I've been on a tear, like selling lots of slabs, lots of raw books. And I'm honestly having a lot of fun doing it. It is actually really, really fun. And it's not about the money. It's about just, having these books, knowing that I don't necessarily need them and seeing them go to people that I know actually appreciate them. And I've been offering people really fair prices, I think. And I think people, it's fun. It's definitely fun. So yeah, a bunch of stuff getting out of here today. Actually, since really like the last maybe 2 weeks, I've been on a little bit of a tear. Definitely the last week. Just about everything that gets put up on Instagram actually goes out. I had a guy earlier today that basically took all of the 100s and 200s ASMs that I had on hand. Then I went over in the corner. Again, you can't see this stuff. I went over in the corner and there was like another box of 100s and 200s that was sitting over there. So it's been a good couple of days. Definitely a good couple of days. Chris Bigger saying Red Hood versus Punisher. Who you got, brother? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know one thing about Red Hood, not one thing. So I'm gonna have to stick with my man Punisher. Primarily the Punisher from the Netflix series because that's a pretty dope Punisher. No, I go with Punisher. I roll with him. I roll with him. Brian, how you doing? Brian Norman, how you doing? It's good to see you, my friend. Scrolling through the comments here, seeing yeah, so unless you're willing to work for free, Zorro, I can't do it, brother. I am a one-man shop here. I do all of the writing, the production, the editing, the graphics, all of that good stuff is all done by me, for better or worse. For better or worse, I actually started this whole. Someone was asking me literally before I went on air how difficult it is to get a YouTube channel up and running, and I'm like, well, it's not difficult at all. I mean, technically, when I first started, I had a $19 lapel microphone and one light. If you watch any of my old videos, man, they are rough, and they're rough for a couple of reasons. So I did them in my kitchen. So I had the camera here on the countertop in the kitchen, and my daughter's bedroom was literally 5 feet, 6 feet from where I was. And so I was always like trying to be pretty quiet while I was talking. And then I would hear her out of the corner, of my ear. And it was always like, what, did the mic pick that up? So it was definitely a grassroots thing. And it still is. I mean, I've got a couple of more lights here. I've actually have a room with a door and a better microphone and a boom arm. Shout out to the subscribers that hooked me up with this stuff. But yeah, it's still very much a grassroots thing. Almost everything that happens here with this channel is done by me. The graphic that you see at the beginning of my videos, that was actually something that I had produced by a guy that is super talented that does work for me in my professional capacity. And then he did the still graphic, but everything else that you see is pretty much by me. So great addiction. Scrolling through the comments, I'm probably gonna miss a lot of things because I'm too busy running my mouth. So if there's questions, definitely throw them up in caps because that'll help draw my attention. Scrolling through, two-step password verification, super unnecessary nowadays for digital breaches. Took your advice on thinking about, hold on, let me look at this one. So here's one from Anthony. Says, Reggie, took your advice on thinking before buying a book and waiting for the book that I really want. Yeah, man. I mean, I think we all, so one of the things that we were joking about previously, I think it was a previous live stream on Sunday, was whether I was going to do this whole video on like addiction, comic books as addiction. And I'm still on the fence on that one because I don't want people with actual addictions to think that I'm making light of real problems, right? By comparing it to a comic. But let's just say if comics were an addiction, the impulse to do, the impulse to buy is very, very strong, especially when you have eBay and you can be doing anything and be eBaying at the same time. You're not thinking, you're just buying it. You're in the auction, you're in the heat of the moment, buying it. And then you realize when you actually are not in the heat of battle, if you will, Comic Soldier shout out, you realize that you probably should not have bought what you bought. And I'm actually thinking about doing a video where I actually show you guys some of the mistakes that I've made by not necessarily thinking. So much of the content that I put out on the channel is not me pointing at people and saying you're wrong or you need to do better. So much of the content is, hey, I jacked that up really bad. Let me see if I can help somebody not make that same mistake. So a lot of the things when I'm like, hey, here's some things to consider, by and large, those are to some degree or another mistakes that I have actually made, or things that I've thought about maybe in hindsight where I'm like, you know what, let me maybe help somebody else avoid this pitfall or avoid this mistake by putting this out there for people to consider and people to think about. Not saying that I'm right or wrong, but saying, hey, I think that this might have been a mistake. Maybe you can learn from this, So what I'm thinking about doing, however, is taking that same concept and basically saying, here is the actual mistake that I made, which is a little different, right? It's a little different, where it's like, I'll actually show you a book that I didn't think about, and I pulled the trigger and realized that the book was basically worthless. I have many of those examples. Yeah, so enough about that one. But Anthony, I'm definitely pleased that you took the advice. And at the end of the day, man, I think the channel is about hopefully making people a little smarter about this hobby, making it so that people don't necessarily get burnt out because they're making mistakes and wasting money and chasing rainbows and unicorns and stuff like that. So I'm glad to hear that it helped, and I appreciate you taking the time to actually say something. Donald says Daredevil is coming back in 2 original movies. Say what? Donald, don't you start rumors. Send me a link, because now I really want to know. Anthony says he is saving up for that giant size X-Men. Yes, sir. That is one of my favorite books, brother. The prices on that thing are ridiculous. I wish I had bought 3 of them when I bought my original, but I was happy just to have the one. And I actually thought that when I bought it, that was a ton of money at the time, and I couldn't imagine buying multiples. Now I'm kicking myself, wishing that I had bought it. But that giant size X-Men is one of my favorite books, and it's by far better than X-Men 1. X-Men 1 was not very good. At Giant Size, definitely a great book. So good luck, brother, on snagging that book. Scrolling through. Oh, so Clay is asking where I sell. I primarily do it on Instagram. I don't do any eBay or stuff like that. And I don't even do any kind of hashtags. I honestly sell books pretty much to people that watch this channel, because I tend to do friends and family, to save fees on everybody's side. Most people trust me. Like I can't hide. I can't hide anywhere. And I think people, that buy books from me are comfortable with the fact of they're buying it from me. I do a lot of videos and images for people to basically say, here's the thing, here's what you're buying, here's what I'm seeing, here's the grade, here's the price, blah, 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 blah. So I do it primarily through Instagram, primarily through my story. So if you're following me on Instagram, check out the story, because I basically put books up there almost all day right now. And most of the time, by the night or the next day, most books are gone. I've been very fortunate because people are buying the stuff up, which I think is really, really great. So yeah, Joe is basically answering there. I should have scrolled down and saw the answer. Phil says he loves the show. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. Am I selling any EC books? No, I actually don't even have any EC books. Most of what I'm selling right now are just random slabs from my personal collection. A ton, as you would imagine, of Amazing Spider-Man. I have some Thor and Journey into Mystery around here somewhere that I picked up off of an auction like a year and a half ago. Just random stuff from the collection that I'm basically moving on to a better home. So unfortunately, no EC. So sorry about that. Scrolling down through here, Darren is in here. How you doing? Current rumors, Charlie. I don't know who Charlie is. I have no clue who that is. I'm not very good with celebrity names. Like the whole Shiny Batman, I had to look up that dude's name, Rob, because I had no clue what his name was. I just knew him as Edward from Twilight. I have no clue who that is. I don't do well with any of that stuff. So Mr. Comic says, bro, hit me up. So I have basically had sub 100 ASM that I've moved on. Most of the 100s have moved on. I found another stack of 200s through 500 sitting over here. So again, I do it all through Instagram, man. So message me there and I can definitely show you what I have. If you got to narrow it down to like, I want the 100s to 200s to 300s, that helps me a lot to be able to know what to send you. Good copy of 252. I have a 252. I want to say I have if it's still here, I have to look. I think there is a 252 9.2 floating around here in the room. Again, email or Instagram, and I can give you the details. Instagram is better. But I think I have at least one slabbed 252 still here in the room. I have one raw that is going to be going into CGC to get slabbed probably by week's end if it works out. Wayne McDonald, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, you definitely want to do that. My Canadian brother to the north, he says that he just sent in 20 books to CGC. So congrats on that. Good luck with those grades. Fingers crossed for you. Comic Foo, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling through some of these comments, Darren says, finally caught one of your live chats. What's good, my friend? Welcome to the live stream. It is good to have you and your other 61 friends that are hanging out right now. Wayne McDonald says he won't see his CGC books for another 3 months. Brother, I'm telling you, the best thing that you can do when you send books in to anyone is to forget about them. Just send them. And once they're received, wait for the confirmation of receipt, then forget about them. Just act like they don't exist. The time goes so much faster. Trust me, because you don't want to be like me. I was hitting the button every day, every day. Where's the book? Where's the book? Refresh, refresh. Nothing. Drove me crazy. So Brian Hart, how you doing? He says, what's up, Reggie? Love the show. Do you think you could add to your show hot upcoming comics like others are picking up? Oh, like what others are picking up? So here's my challenge. I don't stay up on comics that much. To really be able to do it and do it justice, I don't stay up on comics that much to know what's coming out the week ahead, to be honest with you. That's just, I think that there are other people like Comics with Bueller that do a really good job of previewing books that are coming out. He has a really good show and he does a lot of that. Here's what's hot, here's what's coming up. Comics with Bueller. My buddy Travis does a fantastic job with that stuff. Jim's Comics, another guy that I used to still watch, before I even started a YouTube channel. I was watching him. I think that, I think there are many people that have their thing. And I'm a big fan of letting those people that have their thing do their thing, right? Versus me trying to be them and them trying to be me. I don't do that, and I try to be different. I try to bring different types of content. And so I probably would not, one, I don't have the time. Two, I don't want to step on my friends' toes. And three, that's just not really my thing, So hopefully you get that. And I'm not saying that's a bad idea or a bad suggestion. That's not what I'm saying. It's just not me. Yeah, I'm looking at the comments to make sure I kind of addressed everything. And I think that I did. Yeah. All right. So scrolling through some of the comments here. Oh, snap. Comics with Bueller is here. Oh no. Oh no. It's really bad when you give a guy a compliment. He's actually here listening to you. Nathan McCall says, hey man, try to use your CGC referral link in your page. It didn't work for me. So I sent CGC a message letting him know. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate that. And I want to say, Nathan, bro, I want to say your name actually popped up today because I actually have a portal that I can look into and see who is there. Nope, it didn't. It was Nigel. That was the name that I saw pop up today. Yeah, if you sent those guys a message and said that, I'm sure that it'll pop up sooner or later. But Nathan, I definitely appreciate you, being willing to click that link for me, So fingers crossed for you, brother, on your books, getting a good grade. I can't guarantee it. I have nothing to do with any. Mac Daddy Austin says, is this the worst time of year? So here's the thing. The only ideal time of the year, right, to really send them books is when there aren't major congresses that are going on, right? I mean, that's probably your best, safest bet to send it when there's no major congresses. Conventions. I use congresses at work. But conventions. And I think that that's only really, what is that, like December, January, February timeframe? So I don't know. And a lot of it depends upon what you're sending in and what services you're having them perform, right? Because the big thing is that it's business day. So if you're sending in certain books, it's going to fall to a tier and it could have a 40-day business day turnaround time. And then if you get that same book cleaned and pressed, that is a 27-day, I want to say, process, depending upon which one you go with. Again, business day. So that's a healthy number of business days right there when you throw out weekends and holidays and all that other kind of stuff. So, I don't know that there is an ideal time. I think it's just a thing of I send my books in when I have the money and when I have something to send in, and then I just roll with the punches after that, and again, I send the books in, I forget about them, and then they show up magically and it's all good. It's all good. Collecto 6 says, leave that to Bueller and Comic Tom. That is right. I mean, that's what these guys do, and they do a fantastic job of it. I've been on Comic Tom's channel. I've been on Bueller's channel. I watch their content. I see what they do, and I think that they do a really good job of it. So I don't want to be them. I don't want to be them. That's not my thing. Oh, ooh, I know the guy. So I know the guy throwing the Albuquerque con. I know that guy. I actually met him at a con recently, and he let me hold the highest grade Wonder Woman first appearance and second appearance in the entire world. I think the one book was what 1.5. I think it was like 1.5, and the other was like I don't know 700 grand or something like that. And I'm sitting there holding these books and I'm moving them around. I'm taking photos for my videos. But if you haven't seen those books, James, they are actually in a video that I did on WonderCon. But yeah, the two guys are actually brothers. They are doing the Albuquerque comic show, so it should be a good show, man. They have a lot of high end books. I walked in their booth and everything had like multiple zeros in it. There was like no dollar books. It was like all super high expensive stuff. So I was like, all right, well, let me keep it moving. So there's a question here. Rag is saying this dude is speaking the truth. I don't know what you're talking about, but thank you, because hopefully you appreciate the truth that I am trying to speak here. James says, yes, sir. They keep adding guests every week. I mean, these guys, honestly, the guys that are running the Albuquerque con, like I wanted to get them on the show, but I think that they were like stupid busy. So that probably won't happen for a while, but I was very impressed with their business prowess. They actually do watch the channel, which I thought was really cool. And yeah, they're doing a con down in Albuquerque, and I wish them all the best on that one. So scrolling down here because there was a couple of comments here. Do I also collect Web of Spider-Man? So Aaron is asking that question. I collect, if it is Spider-Man, I collect it. I am not working on a run of Web of Spider-Man, but I do have it. Like as a kid, I thought Web of Spider-Man was it. I couldn't afford Amazing, right? So I bought a lot of Web. I actually have a short box of Web of Spider-Man sitting right here. I think I have like 2 or 3 number ones or something like that. But I'm not doing a run of Web, but I do have a lot of Web. Same thing with Spectacular Spider-Man. It's mostly the keys with Spectacular. I mean, I also have Spidey, I have Spider-Man. If it's a Spider-Man book, more than likely, I have a little bit of it somewhere. Um, Greg is asking, aside from AF-15, what other grails are you hunting? So the primary hunt right now is really around all the Amazing Spider-Man books, right? And just about every single one of the Spider-Man books is a grail. Like, so let's be honest about that. They're all crazy, stupid, expensive. So that's the big focus right now, is a bunch of that stuff. Um, I don't know if I have any other major grails that I'm hunting, to be honest with you, because I have the ability to like really focus on a thing or two. And so I'm definitely going after the ASM books. But outside of that, I don't know if I have any like major grails that I'm going after. Let me keep thinking about that. Scrolling down through some of the comments. All right, so let's do this. Wait a minute. Better artwork, McFarlane versus Jim Lee. Jim Lee, hands down. Jim Lee is super, super talented. Fantastic artist. I think Todd McFarlane has talent. As a kid, I thought he was compelling, but then when I went back and looked at a lot of his work, especially like on the Spider-Man title, it was lacking. I think on ASM, when he did ASM, I think it was better, but I think Jim Lee is just a beast. I went back and read Extinction Agenda from the 90s X-Men, loved it. Artwork was just fantastic. He has Jim Lee has this ability, man, to make some of his artwork, especially early on, look like other people, because he took over for some other artists, and you couldn't really tell where they ended and where he began until he got a little bit deeper into some of his work. But super, super talented guy. So over here, I actually have Todd was so cool to me in the night. I think Todd and all those guys were super cool to all of us in the 90s. And that's why, when I went back and looked at some of the stuff, I was a little disappointed. It wasn't what I remembered it being. And maybe that was just because I was so enamored with Tom McFarlane and all those guys back then. Someone saw on Pawn Star, someone was selling a published page of Tom McFarlane Spider-Man art. Crazy, right? I've seen some Tom McFarlane art up close. His webbing is fantastic. It is fantastic webbing. But before we get too deep in this thing, I actually want to unbox a couple of things here. So I'm going to put you guys on mute so I can unbox this without like killing you guys with all the noise. All right, so here we go. Everyone has been asking Reggie, when are you doing the Go Collect giveaway? Well, I couldn't do the Go Collect giveaway because the books hadn't arrived. I make a purchase pretty much once a month for the Go Collect giveaway, and sometimes the shipping doesn't happen right away, and it's very much to my disappointment, despite my best efforts. So what I have right here are three really cool books that are going to be given away over the next 3 weeks, and we have got to decide together which of these books we are going to give away this week. So we're going to do this thing. I'm not going to tell you what's inside, so please don't ask. Chris Bigger, Reggie, when are we doing the Go Collect giveaway? Chris got his breach under control. Well done, sir. Well done. All right. So here, what's worse, restored or qualified? Restored in my book. But it also depends on what the book is, right? If it's a golden age or a really old book, restored is probably fine. Qualified, like I have a qualified book that was signed by Todd McFarlane and my wife bought me. I could care less that it's qualified, so part of it depends upon the book, but it depends also on the age of the book and what it is. So, all right, so here we go. We have three books. 1, 2, 3, all three slabs. We have A, B, and C. You guys tell me, you guys decide which of these three books we are going to give away this week. And now here's the thing. All three of these books are outside of my comfort zone, I think. It's been so long. All three of these books are outside of my comfort zone. I decided to do things, and I have been doing things a little bit differently, right? I'm buying non-Amazing Spider-Man books because I don't want you guys to think I just care about Amazing Spider-Man. So by your votes, please let me know which book we are going to give away this week. A, B, C, or D. I see a lot of B's. Tina saying C, please. All right, so you guys tell me A, B, C, C for all the Chris's. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And as I'm not actually looking around the room trying to find my box cutter, and I think it's actually in the other room because I opened the box in the other room. So I'm seeing a lot of C's still, a lot of C's. Did you get DC? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. There could be some DC in here. I mean, honestly, there could be some pre-code horror. There could be some DC. Again, these are things outside of my comfort zone. These are all things outside of my comfort zone. There is nothing else that matters except for ASMR. All right, so I see more. We're going to go with B. All right. Gold Key Comics, The Gibbon Strikes. Dre Boogie, how you doing? Oh, this is a cool book. Ooh, this is a cool one. Again, going outside of my comfort zone, people. Luna says, love your videos, Reggie's. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. Grizzly Attack the Gibbon. Here's the thing. A lot of people are like, well, don't you get tired of people saying thank you? I love your videos, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be honest with you. There are hard days. Like everybody has hard days, where you're like, do I even want to keep making videos? Is it worth it? Right? Somebody leaves like a really bad response and you're reading it and it starts to weigh on you. And then you also have the pressures of life. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when people say thank you or your video helped me, your video inspired me, your video got me to think this way versus that day, all of those things to me help when things are tough and when you're looking at yourself and you're like, forget about this thing, how much do you hate? I don't hate PGX. I don't hate PGX at all. I have no hate in my heart. This channel is not about hate, my friend. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know PGX. I've never held a PGX book. I've never sent a book to PGX. I think I've been to PGX's website maybe once or twice when I was working on videos. But I actually do not hate PGX. I also don't hate CBCS or Halo or EGS. I don't hate any of those companies. I think that I'm a big fan of competition. So I'm a big fan of all of these companies being out there and being available to consumers to be able to make decisions about what they, how they want to use these services. So, um, Chase is asking if I don't mind asking, do I collect any trading cards? No, I don't. I don't collect trading cards, but I do have some back there. There's a really nice Mary Jane back there, and then I have a couple in a box at my ankle that subscribers have actually sent to me, but I don't collect trading cards of any kind. Chris Baker said, you do not get thanked. And well, I'm not gonna, I get thanked a lot. I'm gonna be honest, there is so much stuff that happens like offline with me having conversations with people, emails, letters that actual physical letters that I get from people. And I say this, I think I have some of the best subscribers. It is honest. I really, really appreciate you guys. So I definitely appreciate all of those. Rai says, don't focus on the haters. I don't. I honestly don't focus on the haters. I don't focus on the thumbs down. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't focus on it. I keep moving forward because that's just who I am as a person. But when it happens, you still have to take a moment and you have to ask yourself, is there something right about what they're saying? Should I do something different? I don't want to be the person that has people say things and then I dismiss them because I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So I have to let it in for the moment and kind of let it swirl around before I decide, okay, I'm just going to ignore this. Or, because sometimes there are learnings in negative comments as well, so but Raya, I get where you're coming from. You and I have had enough email exchanges, so I know where you're coming from. All right. So, there was a question. I lost it about CBCS. Hold on. Let's do this. Let me get to this book, and then we're going to jump back into some of the questions. All right. So, bear with me. All right. So let me show you guys the book that you guys selected to be given away this week during the channel. And I got to figure out what the question is going to be because I don't know the. All right, here we go. This is the book. This is the book that is going to be given away this week, sponsored by Go Collect. This is Marvel Spotlight number 28. This is a 9.4 off-white to white pages. This is a Moon Knight book. This is actually the first solo Moon Knight story. I think this is a pretty cool book. I'm not the biggest Moon Knight fan, but there was a lot of people out there that love Moon Knight. So I was like, why not get a nice little Moon Knight? So here we go. This is the Moon Knight Marvel Spotlight number 28, 9.4 off-white to white pages, first solo Moon Knight. So here you go. This is the book that is going to be given away this week as part of the Go Collect giveaway. So if you want to enter the contest, all you have to do is head over to the community tab. When you get to the community tab, there is a post that says, hey, if you want to participate in the Go Collect giveaway, click this link. There is a MailChimp link. You go to that MailChimp link, you type in your email address, your screen name, and your response to the video. The response that you need to give me is Moon Knight. Let's just go with that because I don't even know this dude's name. Moon Knight. Moon Knight is the response. That's all that you have to enter this week into the MailChimp link, and you are ultimately in the running for this book that will be given away this coming Sunday at 7:30 as part of the Ready, Set, Go preview show. This is a pretty nice book, 9.4 off-white to white pages, first solo story featuring Moon Knight. Very cool. I actually read I think it was the first appearance of Moon Knight the other day. I actually kind of enjoyed the book. Actually a pretty cool book. But there we go. Mark Spector. Thank you, bro. So let's do this. He has many, because he has multiple personality, right? So he has a couple of different identities. So that would be confusing because then people would be like, well, which one are you referring to if I just said his real name? So we're just going to go with Moon Knight. How about that? So I want to share my screen with you guys real quick. And then I want to see if we can look this book up. Is it under Marvel Spotlight? So this is the Go Collect interface. Marvel Spotlight 28. Let's see if we can find it. I think that this is how, yeah, there we go. So scrolling down, Marvel Spotlight number 28. I think this is the one because it's not the 30-cent variant. Nope, it's the 25 cent. So we click on Analyzer, and then this is a 9.4. So we can click this and we can actually see that there have been 18 sales. This book is up 10%, unlike the 9.8, which is down, the 9.6, which is down, the 9.4 is actually up 10%. Last sale, I think that's what that is. The last sale on 4/26 was actually $190. The sale before that, $200. So again, we're giving away a pretty decent book here that actually has some nice value attached to it. So again, huge shout out to the sponsors over at Go Collect for putting us in a position where we can actually give away this cool stuff. I actually had a conversation with them earlier today. Always a fun opportunity when you can have a good conversation with good people. So there you go. That is the book that is going to be given away this week, the Marvel Spotlight. Unfortunately, and I think I mentioned this on Sunday's show, we don't have any more of the t-shirts to give away. All of the t-shirts have been given away, and they are working on, I think, a possible redesign of them. So if you are indeed in the running for this and you win it, you will be able to get this book and also one of the exclusive variants from Go Collect. So you have to be, we ask that you are a subscriber of the channel, that you will be a resident of the United States or resident of Canada, or have a mailing address in the US. That's it. That's all that you need to do. So good luck to everybody. Again, the drawing will end on Sunday morning, and then the winner will be announced Sunday night at 7:30 as part of the Ready, Set, Go preview show. All right, so there you go. So let's get back to some of these questions. There were a couple of questions. Chris, you're a nut. Oh, Chris says, I don't care about t-shirts. Just give me the book. Do I think $25 is too high for a CGC pressing? I think, yeah, I think pressing is now like, it's expensive. It's expensive. You know, I mean, I sent a round of books in the CGC to have them pressed, and they did a fantastic job. The books came back at really high grades, but they changed how they're doing it, and it's expensive, you know. And the problem is, I actually sent some books over, and I've spoken about this before. I've sent books into a third-party presser who, and while they were en route to the third-party presser, the mail people damaged the books. The presser was unable to erase that damage. It was a major corner ding on like 4 books. Major corner ding. Made it look better, but they were still pretty jacked up. And then he basically popped a staple on the book. And so ever since that experience, my thought was, I'm going to package my books up really well. I'm going to send them to CGC, CCS, and let them do it. And that's what I've been doing. You know, prices are high, no doubt about it. A damaged book hurts my heart. You know, one of them was actually a really nice Spider-Man variant that just is ruined. So, Luna says he wants to sign up. I'm guessing sign up for the giveaway. Yeah, definitely head over to the community tab. Clay one is asking, how do you determine what slab books you display on your wall? I just pick stuff randomly. This is honestly just a random assortment of books. The Avengers stuff is kind of up there because of Avengers Endgame. The Fantastic Four stuff was just because, again, just random stuff that I wanted to throw up there. At one point I had a bunch of high dollar books that were all up there, and I decided to take that down to like rotate some of the inventory. So the front wall is mostly Amazing Spider-Man. Then I got a couple of other things. I just honestly, it depends upon what mood I'm in. There is sometimes no rhyme or reason to it, aka that wall back there. Scrolling. Scrolling. Again, if you guys have questions, throw them in caps. Yeah, I am very random today. This is a random Q&A that we are doing right here. Have I ever met Stan? Once. I met Stan once at Silicon Valley Comic-Con. He actually signed my Amazing Spider-Man 300 and my Amazing Spider-Man 50. It was a pivotal moment for me, having an opportunity to meet Stan the man. So that was definitely cool. Comic Mike, how you doing? It's good to see you. Kyler is saying that is why I don't like buying books online. The high chances of books getting damaged because of the possible careless sellers. That is why I go to a local comic shop. Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think you always have to do what makes sense to you, right? Unfortunately, not everyone has really good local comic shops in their area, and some people have to go online to buy their books because that's the only way that they can get them. When I first got back into the hobby a couple of years ago, I bought primarily off of eBay, like left and right, eBay all the time. And then I went through a phase like this last couple of months, very little from eBay. I actually was getting more satisfaction going to local comic shops and actually buying books there. But I also had the fortune of living in the San Francisco Bay Area, where in an hour's drive, I can be at some of the best comic shops around, which is why I do those hunting videos to give people an idea of just how good we have it here and just what a great comic shop can actually look like. But not everyone has that. Not everyone does. I know there's one guy. What is his name? 90 miles from comics or something like that. He is literally 90 miles from comics, and that is a very fitting name, and it illustrates the point that I was just making here a couple of moments ago. Did John says he did his first convention CGC signature series commission last weekend at MegaCon. Very nice. He was a little nerve-wracking. Yeah, those lines are a beast. Those lines are a beast. I've actually seen them. Ariel, how you doing? How you doing? So, what do I use to keep track of my collection? So, I don't. I track slabs. I track my slabs primarily in my high dollar books. Most all of the slabs, all of the high dollar books actually go into Go Collect. Go Collect actually has a really nice report feature where you can actually look at what you spent for a book versus what the book is worth at FMV, and it'll actually show you exactly what your collection is worth, which I think is really helpful. And I did that because I was actually seeking to get insurance, and so I used the slab collection as the means to determine how much insurance I would actually need. The 90% of my collection is actually raw. But also 90% of my collection aren't keys, right? They're like super random runs of random stuff, So my thought was, if I had enough insurance to cover the major books, i.e. the slabs and the high dollar books, then I could add, 20%, something like that, to be able to cover the raw stuff. CLZ is an app that a lot of people use to actually track their collection. I don't track my collection. I focus on the slabs and the high dollar books. And part of the reason why I also use Go Collect is they actually have a feature where you can actually take a photo of the front and the back of your book, which I think is extremely helpful for like high dollar raw books. Having those photos to be able to show exactly what that book looks like, I think is really, really helpful if I haven't graded those books just yet. So hopefully that kind of helps answer that question. Felix, good night, brother. Thank you for hanging out just a little bit. Mr. Comic says he can't wait for his Fantastic Four 48, 49, and 50 to get back to CGC. Brother, whatever those grades are, you should be very proud of those books. Hopefully you got them cleaned and pressed, because I think that always goes over very nicely with books. Fantastic 448, would you have a minimum grade you would buy? So, bro, with that book, that book, whether you're talking about 48 or 49, 50 a little bit less, but 48 is really expensive. 49 is starting to get up there, and I think for me, I think my slab is a 7 or 7.5, and then I have two other 49s. I really like that cover out of the three of them, and they are all at least 5 and above, probably even 6 and above raw. But I also bought them at a time where they weren't as expensive as they are now. So I think what you have to do is you have to decide for yourself, what are the criteria for you to purchase, right? And what I mean by that is, how much money do you have and how much money do you want to spend? Because let's keep it honest, right? How much money do you want to drop? And then once you kind of figure that out to some degree, or you can do it in reverse, you can ask yourself, what are the criteria that I want for my book, right? One of my books has a rat nibble in the corner or a bug nibble. I could care less, because otherwise it is a gorgeous book. I'm cool with the little corner being gone because of something or another chewed on it. I don't do rusty staples. I don't do water damage. So by establishing kind of some criteria for yourself, you can decide what grade, and I'm using that term loosely, what grade of book you want to go for, right? There are some books out there cover detached. That might be cool with you, which opens the door for you to be able to get just about anything, right? So I think you have to decide what are the criteria for your collection and then for you and for that book. And that will help drive the amount of money, or you can do it in reverse. You can say, I only have X to spend, so let me find a book that is valued at less than that. The problem with 48, 49, and 50 right now is that people are asking well over FMV. And that is the challenge. They are asking well over FMV sometimes for raw books. It is really, really expensive. So good luck, brother, finding an affordable one, because that is definitely the challenge. Do I buy from Facebook auctions? Never. I rarely go on Facebook. Like I went on Facebook the other day and realized that people had sent me a bunch of comments there. And I just had to apologize to people. Like I don't go to Facebook. So no, I don't buy on Facebook at all. Rarely go. Looking for Iron Man 55. Good luck, Joa. I actually picked mine up from a Ziploc bag. And there is a post on the community tab. I think it's it may be even a photo of Thanos. I have a good story to tell about that book. But Iron Man 55 is definitely a good book. So hopefully you're able to pick it up. Scrolling through some of these comments, Joa says he uses Go Collect for slabs. Yep. Have you tried antique shops for books? I don't know if that question is directed at me. If it is, absolutely. I have some hunting videos that show me in antique shops and antique districts finding books, and sometimes some decent books, actually. CLZ Comic is a great app to keep track of collections, that says Joa. Joa is making that comment. And that was a very good point that typically, if you're able to scan the barcode, that works quite nicely for CLZ. A lot of people are old school, man. People still use Excel and stuff like that. So Eli says he sent in his first submission after I helped him on the process, dropped them off at CGC booth. Awesome con in DC. Very nice, man. Congratulations on that, brother. Fingers crossed for you that you get a great grade. And I'm glad that I was able to help you. Either, I don't know if we talked about it or if it was you watching the video, but I'm glad I was able to help. What are my top 5 favorite books in my collection? Oh man, that's tough. I would say Amazing Spider-Man 1, um, Giant Size X-Men. X-Men is 2. I'm just gonna lump those together. I think my Savage Dragon or Dragon 3-parter, all 3 books, 1, 2, 3, I think is really cool because it's a really rare book. And I'm actually gonna have an opportunity to meet Eric Larson in June. And I'm actually gonna take the books with me and take a photo with Eric Larson because I think that'll be cool. He's not signing them or touching them, but it would be cool to actually take a photo. So I'm lumping those books together. I think maybe my Amazing Spider-Man 50 is up there because that book was actually signed by Stan Lee, and I actually really like red covers and I like yellow covers as well. So that's 4 if I'm allowed to lump everything together. If I had to pick a 5th book, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know what I would pick as a 5th book, to be honest with you. Maybe like my Daredevil 7. And I say that because that Daredevil 7 has been with me for like decades, like literally decades. This book, multiple states, multiple decades. Don't even know where the daggone book came from, but that book has been with me forever. So I would probably put that one in there. So if I'm able to cobble that together into 5, those would be the 5. So ICT Vinny is talking about my first appearance video with Thanos. Yeah, so I actually did a whole series probably over a year ago, back when I was still in the kitchen. I got on this whole cosmic thing, and my whole thing was the MCU is going cosmic, right? And so I went out and bought all of these first appearances, second appearances, cameo appearances of cosmic characters. So we're talking like the Gardener, which is right back there, the Gardener, Thanos, Death, Beyonder, the In-Betweener, you name them. And they were a cosmic character, the Infinity, Eternity, who else? The One Above All. I mean, if it was a cosmic character, I was getting it. And so my thing is, I think that at some point, and I think it's happening now, is that the MCU is actually headed towards cosmic. And so when and if that happens, all of these books that feature cosmic characters are all going to go up in value. And so that's part of the reason why I wanted to do it, is 1, because I had an interest in those books. 2, Why would I pay more for a book than I when I can pay less for that book by anticipating what's about to happen? And so that's how I spec is I try to be smarter as best I can as to what the market is actually going to do. Um, Ariel says he's at work. Greg says, "What is the best comic you found in the wild?" So, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I found so many amazing books in the wild. I found Iron Man 55 first appearance of Thanos in a Ziploc bag. Bought behind a 7-Eleven in a an apartment complex. That video is on the community tab if you want to watch that one. That was a fun experience. So I found that in a Ziploc bag. I found Amazing Spider-Man 300 in the wild. I found 301 in the wild. They were with the Ziploc comic. Um, those are probably the biggest. And the Iron Man 55 actually came back at a 9.4 from CGC. So that's a pretty good grade to have been in a Ziploc bag. I'm gonna be honest with you. Those are probably the best that I found in the wild. Just like straight hunting. I found some other amazing books. I don't call it in the wild because it was like a date. It was almost like a comic date. But I found the books I was just talking about a second ago, the first appearances or the first Eric Larson book with the dragon, that rare book. That book was actually found kind of sort of in the wild. There are so many amazing books that I've shown in videos that were honestly found in that type of setup, So I've been very, very lucky in that I've been able to find and secure some really awesome books from some great people. So scrolling through, um scrolling through, trying to see what other comments. Okay, I think that's it. I think I cover most of them. Um, Chris, Chris Bigger says Reggie is straight up. You know what? I really enjoy it. I really enjoy decide like so here's the thing. My wife and I used to do this back in the day, right? Back in the day when we lived in Florida, we were both, into fitness big time. And she was a national level fitness figure competitor, and I was doing the amateur bodybuilding at the time, or men's physique. And so what we would do was we would literally go to a different gym almost every day. Or if we were like had leg day, we went to a certain gym because it was like the perfect leg day gym. If it were back day, we went to this other gym because that was a back day. But we basically, when we lived in Fort Lauderdale, we hit so many different LA fitnesses that were in the surrounding area just because we wanted to mix it up and do different. I do the same thing now with comics. I just go to a different comic shop, not knowing what to expect. I roll in and I experience it for the first time, and I capture it on video, and I have fun. You know what I'm saying? And I say this all the time. This is comics and it should be fun. And that's what I try to do is I try to remember that, and I try to have fun. When I get books, I'm having fun. When I don't get books, I'm having fun, you know? So yeah, man, there you go. Brandon, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. Um, ICT says it helps to be 6 feet 230 when hunting in wild places. Yeah. Well, I used to be. I'm much smaller now. Not in terms of height, but I'm not weighing 230 anymore. I had some decent size on me, man. I had some decent size, but not anymore. I'm getting smaller. Need to start going back to the gym. Need to start lifting again. I've been focusing on other things. But yeah. Having some size takes a lot of the danger out of it. Not that the muscle can stop a bullet, but the muscle can go a long way in terms of intimidating people and making sure that people don't lose their minds and do something stupid. So there's definitely something to that. Wayne McDonald, very good, my friend. Wayne McDonald is on it tonight. Thank you, my friend. He is on it. Wayne McDonald is a Patreon member and also all around good guy. He's on YouTube. So if you guys get a chance, make sure you check out his channel because he definitely is putting out some really, really good stuff up there. All right. So, I don't know how to say your name. Iran, Iran, maybe. Oh, it's Iran. You dropping knowledge in here. I wasn't going to talk about that. All right, so I'll give you a little bit. Um, Marvin Goodman started a company called Atlas Comics back in the day, and Atlas Comics basically went defunct. Somebody recently bought Atlas Comics, and they're basically going to take the books that have been released by Atlas Comics and basically turn those books into superhero movies, the same way that the MCU has basically done it with the Marvel books. And so the idea by this guy that bought it is that he is actually going to release one superhero movie per year starting in 2021. He doesn't anticipate it's actually going to take that long, but that was like I guess a goal that he kind of threw out there. And so what's crazy though is that so many, I think there were 23 or 28, I can't remember, actual titles that were under the Atlas Comics umbrella back in the day. What's crazy is that some of these comics were owned by me when I was a kid. And as soon as I saw them, because you know me, I do a lot of research. As soon as I saw these comics, I remembered owning Destructor and Phoenix back in the day. And I actually remember where I got them from. I bought these comics from an antique shop up the street from my grandmother's house in Roseville, Michigan. And I used to stay with my grandmother in the summers. And she would let me, walk around because Roseville at the time was super safe. So I used to walk to this place. I used to buy comics. And I picked up Destructor #1 and Phoenix #1 from Atlas Comics. And I can close my eyes and still picture those books today. Don't know what happened to them. So I decided I was going to go out and buy those books. And that's exactly what I did 2 days ago. I saw this announcement about the Atlas thing. I did the research. I saw those books. I remembered those books. And I was like, I am buying every single one of these. And so video will be coming your way soon as those books show up here. Iran, very good, my friend. So there is some other stuff that is actually happening. We got Iron Jaw. I see you, Wayne. There's some crazy stuff that's happening with that, where the title or the name Atlas Comics is actually being used by another company. So there's a little bit of dispute about the name of the company, not about who owns the intellectual property, but about the name Atlas Comics. So more to come on that. I think it's Verdugo. I can't remember. Somebody owns it. But it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Lost Comic Junkie says he's 5'2", 140 and will bite some ankles on a hunt. Lost Comic Junkie, you're a nut. James O'Neill, how you doing, my friend? One of them was Iron Jaw. Iron Jaw. There was I think a Strange Tales written by Stan Lee or edited by Stan Lee. I want to say written by Stan Lee. There was Destructor. There was Phoenix. There were a lot of titles, and a lot of them were only 1 or 2 issues or 1 to 4 issues. So there's not a whole lot of them out there, but I picked up a healthy number of them a couple of days ago. So again, you guys will see these in a video. Zorro says your grandma's from, yes, man. I am from Detroit, Michigan, brother. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Went to high school and junior high, part of it in Oak Park, Michigan. I have family in Southfield. Family in Southfield primarily, and also Warren, and then also Roseville. We still own my great grandmother's house in Roseville, Michigan. It's changed a lot, but yeah, born and raised in the mitten, my friend. Born and raised. Someone said Paramount bought Atlas. There you go. Thank you, Daniel. Are you a wrestling fan? No, I'm not a wrestling fan. Haven't seen wrestling in like back in the day. Law says, yep, got Iron Jaw. He said he got #2 this week. Congratulations on that. Very nice. Very nice. Wayne says he got #1. Congrats, brother. Yeah, man. I had these books back in the day. No clue what happened. Davidson outside of Flint. There you go. I haven't been to Flint in a very, very, very long time. All right. So we're going to wrap this thing up. I'm going to go out here and probably watch some Scandal with the Wife, because that's our new show that we're watching right now. Again, if you guys missed this earlier today, if you came in late, I should say, we are actually giving away this book right here. It is Marvel Spotlight on the Moon Knight, Marvel Spotlight number 28, 9.4 off-white pages to white pages. This book is actually being given away, sponsored by Go Collects. If you missed it, you may want to go back and watch this on the replay so that you can get all the details on how to enter the contest. Good luck to everyone, and I want to thank all you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed another edition of a random chat or randomness, or the show about nothing. I don't know what you want to call this thing, but hopefully you guys had a good time. I definitely enjoy interacting with you guys, and certainly if you need me, don't hesitate to reach out at reggiecollects@gmail.com and Reggie Collects on Instagram. And as I mentioned, there is a bunch of stuff that is being sold on Instagram. So if you if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, make sure that you hit me up. I gotta go. I'm running out of steam. Thank you guys. Take care.